And also, if you talk about the quality of the construction, like there's a really heartbreaking event happened last month when a high school gym just collapsed by itself and then killed 11 teenager high school, girls in a volleyball team. Um, it's a city like we're pretty close to my hometown in northeast, China, and people were buried alive and died. And what the government did first, they first just not letting the parents to see their children or the dead bodies, they have their peace and to mourn for them, but they have them sign an agreement for not talking about it online, for not talking about it in public. They had to promise that they don't talk about the event before they can actually go see their children. That's the atrocity. That's the brutality is happening all the time. If you look at, and they purchased those tofu drag buildings, right? We call it like tofu drag building because it's scrambled, it fall apart by itself, right? And that's what the people get. And now those companies just go bankrupt. And then the reason why I talk about financial crisis in the larger scale, and I said it's going to be worse than 08, worse than Lehman Brothers, going to be worse than Japan in 90s, is because if you look at the real data, if you look at the ratio, if you look at the value of the real estate at its peak versus the GDP, like in 08, it's only 3 times, and in Japan, like 90s, it's only like 2 times, a little bit more than 2 times, I think. Now, if you look at like China, right? So the real estate was officially assessed as $65 trillion, but actually the real number, the Miles Intels tell us, it's like 100 trillion, right? It's 8 to 10 times more than its own GDP, right? So if we talk about the scale of the disaster, it's gonna be like at least 5 times bigger than the 08 Lehman moment.